So I recently had to hire a full-time designer in South America for a client project, and while the role was clearly defined, the candidate was a great fit, actually bringing them on turned out to be way more complicated. What I thought would be a quick, straightforward process raised a bunch of questions I really wasn't ready for. Should I use a contractor agreement? Do I need to handle taxes? Am I responsible for benefits? The deeper I looked, the messier it got. And without a legal team to lean on, I was left trying to figure it all out on my own. So in this video, I'll walk you through what I ran into, the hiring options I looked at, and how I eventually got it all sorted without setting up a company overseas or getting buried in legal work. So once I hit that roadblock, I started digging into what the actual options were for hiring someone overseas the right way. And it turns out there really are just three. The first of them is hiring an independent contractor. That's the most familiar route. You agree on a rate, they send you an invoice, and you pay them through something like Wise or PayPal. It's fast, it's simple, but it only works if the person is truly independent, meaning they set their own hours, use their own tools, and work on their own terms. But if you're giving them tasks every day, looping them into internal meetings, or managing their time, at that point, local labor laws start seeing it as full-time employment, and that's where misclassification becomes a real problem. Because if anyone challenges it, you could end up responsible for unpaid benefits, back taxes, even legal penalties. So yeah, it's easy, but for anything long-term, it is not something I'd want to bet on. The second option is setting up your own legal entity in their country. That means registering your business there, hiring local lawyers and accountants, and going fully official. And I actually looked into this. On paper, it does seem like the cleanest approach. You get full control and you can hire as many people as you want. But this route really is not built for small teams. You're looking at tens of thousands of dollars just to get started, and at least 6 months to get everything registered and running. So unless you're planning to scale big in that country, it's just not worth the investment. And that brings us to the third option, which is called an employer of record, or EOR. And for my situation, it's what turned out to be the best fit. The concept is pretty straightforward. An EOR is a company that already has legal entities set up in different countries, and they let you hire through them. So on paper, they are the official employer. They handle the contract, run local payroll, file the taxes, and provide whatever benefits are required. But day to day, you still manage the person like anyone else on your team. They're doing your work, reporting to you, following your schedule. The EOR just makes sure everything is done behind the scenes legally. And really, that's all I needed. It gave me a way to bring someone on full-time with structure and compliance, but without the time or cost of building that infrastructure myself. Once I knew that was the right path, I started looking at EOR platforms. And there are a few out there. Some come with full HR suites, onboarding tools, performance reviews, extra admin dashboards, but I didn't need all that. I just wanted something clean, a way to legally hire someone in another country without it turning into a whole separate project. That's what led me to Skuad. And out of everything I looked at, it felt the most focused. It's not trying to be an all-in-one HR system, it just solved my problem and made it easy to do it again if I wanted to grow the team. Now, getting started was pretty simple. I signed up, added my company's info, picked the country I was hiring from, and entered my new team members' details. From there, Skuad handled everything else. They generated a compliant contract based on local labor laws, ran their checks in the background, and set up payroll and taxes automatically. I did not need to hire a lawyer or spend hours trying to learn how employment works in that country. It was all baked in. And on the employee side, they get their own portal where they can view pay slips, track time off, and manage everything on their end. So it all feels like a normal job, not just some workaround. And once things were up and running, a few features stood out. The payroll is fully automated, supports over 70 currencies, and does not charge any international wire fees. And because it adjusts for exchange rates, I didn't have to worry about currency swings messing with the budget. The benefits were just as smooth. Every country has different legal requirements, and Skuad automatically builds those in. So when I hired in Mexico, it created a full benefits package. Healthcare, PTO, pension contributions, all matched local standards, and I did not have to research a thing. I did run into one small issue with their document uploader being weirdly picky about file types, but I reached out to the support and got help right away. It was a quick fix. No actual complaints there. And honestly, once things were in place, I barely had to think about the platform again, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Now, in terms of pricing, Skuad keeps things very straightforward. If you're hiring a contractor, there's a $19 a month plan that gives you a vetted contract, global payments, and expense tracking. But for full-time employees, the plan is $199 a month per hire, and that covers payroll, taxes, benefits, and legal compliance. It's flat rate with no surprise fees, and if you're planning to scale, they do offer volume discounts. There's also an enterprise tier with custom features, but for most small to mid-sized teams, the standard plan has everything you'll need. So stepping back, the biggest takeaway is just how much Skuad simplified something that would have been overwhelming to figure out on my own. Hiring overseas usually means dealing with local labor laws, tax rules, compliance. Here it's all handled in one place. It's simple, focused, and scalable. And for small businesses moving from contractors to full-time global hires, it's exactly the kind of tool that makes that possible. If Skuad sounds like it might be a good fit for your team, there's a link down in the description. That'll take you to their current pricing, and it usually includes some deals that you won't find on their website. Also, if you're interested in working with us or sponsoring a future video, just reach out using the email in the description. So hopefully you found this helpful, and if you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you got any questions about any of these methods of hiring internationally or using an EOR like this, feel free to leave those in the comments below. I always try to get back to as many as I can. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.